Welcome back to For the Fans, where we've been talking about Big Brother since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. Just kidding. We're not all that country here. So. Anyways, Sheldon, Mike, how have y'all been, and how did you enjoy this episode?
Well, I'm awake now.
Holy shit, Kiley. Never again. Never again.
Just woke up my whole neighborhood.
Oh, Jasmine, go in the house.
Jasmine, calm down.
Yeah.
Doing good, though.
You know what? I have to say that was a good episode. I enjoyed the episode overall because we finally got some extra content that we haven't been getting in a while. Some personal stuff. We saw some Nicole opening up about herself, her family, her mom. It was really nice to start getting. After a week of craziness, it's nice to get a little bit more of their personalities, get a little bit more of what's actually going on.
Right. And even though they spent a lot of time still on the veto competition, I feel like it was a lot less than what they did with the HOH. So it wasn't an entire 30-minute segment.
Yeah.
And the competition, I think, was pretty fun, too.
Yeah.
Get into that,
a BB can comp.
And a Survivor comp, basically.
Yeah, we basically see the same thing in Survivor too, but no, this one was taken straight out of the BB can world. So let's just dig into this episode, get into all the craziness that's happening in this house. This one picks up right after the nominations are made, and Jasmine rolls off on her little scooter after plopping Taylor and Pooch on the block. So, we weren't all there Sunday to talk about it. What do y'all think about this decision by Pooch to volunteer himself for the block?
I talked about it on Sunday. Mike, what do you think?
I mean, it's not just because of the position he's in. It's not because of the pawn going home. It's not because of any of that. It's literally just, It's week 2. There's more than, I can think of more than, probably I can think of 20 reasons why this was a terrible idea and an ego move. It was I just hate players who the players who end up being legends in these games are the players who the funniest people are the people who are funny and they don't even know it. That's how the best players in these games are made. They're the best players and they're not trying to win your hearts at home. They're just great at the game. Pooch is I'm going to put myself on the block because, Dr. Will didn't, mama didn't raise no bitch, blah, blah. Pooch, it's week 2. Nobody cares. And you're an idiot.
We talked about it. You cannot win the game in week 2, but you can lose it. And Pooch is getting a hard dose of that reality because he's talking about he needs a resume move. Baby, nobody cares about what you do pre-jury. Just being honest. So volunteering yourself to get rid of the girl that is public enemy number 1, as you keep saying, that is nothing great. Nobody is going to care. And if you bring that point up, that if that is your main talking point come jury speech, then you're going to lose anyway. So you might as well just save yourself the time, go back home, don't miss football season, and let's just go back to the real world. Poochy pooch.
Well,
all right.
I think Mike was right. It is completely an ego play. It is an idea of saying, I put myself on the block and I was safe. Look how good I am. And just even, let's say that were the case, that's what happens. I don't imagine that actually boosting his ego or anybody actually giving a crap. So let's say what he thought would happen would actually end up happening. It's still ineffective. It still doesn't help him. So what's the point?
Yeah.
And he hasn't said anything that strategic either. He could try to spin this so that he doesn't look as dumb and say I'm in an alliance and sooner or later an alliance needs pawns. If I volunteer now when there's a huge target around, then I can throw this in their face and say, oh, I'm not doing this. I already did this for you. He hasn't mentioned any of that sort of stuff that actually matters. He's just talked to us on the feed.
He's not in an alliance with Jasmine.
Yeah,
it's one thing. Also, I would never, ever, ever volunteer to go on the block. Never. Okay. But it would be one thing if you are in an alliance with somebody and you know, okay, this person 1000% has my back, even though they don't control the votes, but that's why it's always a terrible idea. But you know what I mean? This is not somebody that has your best interest at heart. So terrible, terrible mistake. Some things you just got to learn the hard way. Sorry, Pooch. All right. So.
Wow. You're more evil than Jasmine.
I am.
Wow.
As country girls got to stick together. All right. So.
I've got a lot to say about her tonight, actually.
A lot to say about her. But immediately we get Pooch talking. He's like, first of all, I don't like how he says her name. Her name is Taylor, not Teller. Taylor.
All right, well, I'll actually kind of defend him on this one. I've had a hard time saying certain names my entire life, and Taylor is one of those. I say like Taylor.
Yes, that's wrong.
People say like Taylor, and then some people say like Sarah and Sarah, things like that. And it's just like, these are names. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to, I don't know. I could say Taylor, but it sounds weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't. It sounds normal, but just because of Pooch's like, tunnel vision on having to get Taylor out of the house. I'm like, stop saying her name. You can't even say it correctly. Just everything about Pooch annoys the shit out of me. Just being honest.
Can you explain why Taylor is still a target? Like why? Like what? Like it's like why? I don't get it anymore.
They've once the whole house, had tunnel vision on her, and a lot of the people are seeing how she can be beneficial towards their game, but some of them still, they just can't let it go. So,
game wise, saying that Taylor's still a threat is good just for like, she was a threat. She's still a threat. That's good for my game. But nobody has given like solid evidence why Taylor is such a threat. It's more like, oh, well, like Pooch is convinced that Taylor is this big threat, but he keeps saying she's public enemy number one instead of saying she's a comp beast or she, you know what I mean? Like,
well, she's not a comp beast. You know what I mean? They don't have any, they have no game grounds to stand on.
No.
All they can talk about is personality, and they don't like her for whatever reason.
And I was starting to, though.
Well, which is why I'm looking at Amira, who doesn't seem to be afraid to actually say other people's names, to actually say, okay, well, that's a big target, but this is a bigger target, right? And it's just like they're starting to have these conversations in the house to move it away from Taylor, and with that, starting to realize, yeah, maybe Taylor was always a threat, but she's not the biggest threat here.
Right. But I guess ultimately whatever they consider a threat is a threat, because I wouldn't look at Pooch and be like, oh God, he's a threat. We need to get him out week 2. If I am in the Big Brother house and it's week 1 or week 2, like I'm trying to get out the people I don't want to spend an entire summer with. I'm just being honest. And Pooch may be a target for that reason. And even though we all love her, maybe that, they're targeting Taylor for that reason. They're not going to come out and say it, but that's the fact. So, all right. So immediately Pooch is like, Taylor, such an idiot. She doesn't realize it. She's definitely going home. I'm the pawn. I am so smart. Putting myself up here on the block. Okay. And Taylor knows, like, this is not, Jasmine gave me a heads up. I know that I am not the target. You're the backup target, but you're not the primary.
It's pretty. Look, this scene was really hilarious because they're both playing each other, and they both believe the exact same things. And the truth is that however much it seems that Pooch was and is still the target, that could flip in a second, right? So they're both like playing each other with the idea that they're both potentially going out.
Yeah.
And it seems like Pooch does not fathom that possibility, though.
Yeah.
Whereas Taylor I'm trying, is at least saying, I hope they're not playing me. I hope not playing me. Whereas Pooch is saying, these people are all idiots. They're believing me. They're paranoid. Some of them are paranoid. Like nothing's going to happen. Or at least Taylor's like, this could happen. This is a game.
Yeah. I hope that they're not. I hope that these girls aren't, lying and backstabbing on me. But as much as it hurts my heart to say it, I think Jasmine has done well in her role as HOH, because if you have both people up on the block and they both think that they're pawns, then you've done something right, because that is ideal.
But I don't. So yes, but this is also a very, very weird house that is extremely cliquey, and doesn't tell each other things, but also tells each other everything.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest situation. So like they will gossip about everything unless it has to do about you. And I honestly think it's not Jasmine's doing that they don't know. It's the fact that they're just not man enough, excuse my French, to actually go up to somebody and say, you are the target. This is what's going on.
Well, I mean, not getting too into the spoilers. I mean, this man is clueless still. You know what I mean? Like, nobody is cluing him in, and just about everybody in the house knows. And he's still just completely in the dark. So
the boys know too?
I think everybody except for Joseph knows. And maybe Turner. Okay.
Who?
Yes.
Joseph and Turner. Yeah.
seriously.
Who?
Oh my God.
The guy with the long stringy hair, doesn't
Who?
take baths, lives in a van.
Yeah. I think that guy, might be around somewhere doing something.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it, but
Yeah, we'll get to him. We'll get to him in a minute.
I can't
Jasmine's fake accent. I wrote it down. Obviously hinted at it with my beautiful intro to this episode. I can't, y'all. I mean, it's honestly, it's an insult to country people, because we're not all, Hicks, and and she's not either. And you can see that whenever she's having a normal conversation, that her accent is not that thick. I know that the DR likes to play up things, but it's going to drive me teetotal crazy if they're going to do this the whole season.
For me, her accent is actually not what bothers me. What has been bothering me is how disingenuous she is and how inauthentic she is. That's what's actually been bothering me. And honestly, how much of a mean girl she is. That's what bugs me. She is so cocky.
No, her accent wouldn't bother me if she was genuinely that country. It would not bother me, but she's not.
That's part of the inauthenticity, that she's putting on overly crazy accent. Like, to me, I'm struggling with Jasmine. You're the HOH for week number 2. Yeah. You haven't won the game yet. Why are you so happy with yourself? Why are you so confident with the little you have done? I do not understand what all this happiness and this celebration is. This is a friggin' marathon. You haven't won a thing.
I know we see this more. I mean, I know we see this every single season, but maybe a little more so this season than past seasons. But I feel like a lot of these people, I can't help but notice when I watch the episodes, if I'm watching the feeds, a lot of them are very, very happy to be on TV. And I know that this is always a trend. And I know there's some people, it's like The Bachelor. They're there for the wrong reasons. Don't get me wrong. I think everyone wants to be there to win the game. But I think there's some people, Jasmine, in my mind, falls into this category of, I'm on TV and this is great. And, winning the game would be great. But at this point, my followers have gone up. My, everything has gone up, and it stinks because we talked about last episode. Why do they keep casting these Instagram models and these, like, instead of just getting, like, every day?
But I mean, if you look on paper, I mean, Jasmine is probably more of a normal girl. I mean, she's not this super skinny bikini model that has never watched an episode of Big Brother. I mean, she's kind of more of the girl next door a little bit. I mean, I do think she has like a following with her little business page, which is great for her. So she is probably a little bit of an influencer, but she's, I think, somebody that a lot of people could relate to a little bit more if she brought that authentic side, but she doesn't.
Then
and so I find her,
why do you do that,
I find her extremely hard to relate to. And like I said, it just, as a Southern person myself, it makes me just cringe. And I know that a lot of it is the DR wanting her to play it up. Oh, well, throw in this little, Southern euphemism about, hey, I'm drawn to him like sugar is to ants. Ants are to sugar.
I honestly think that's the case. Like, I believe this is not a them problem. I don't think it's a cast problem. I think it's a production problem. Like they have completely and totally bought into the campiness of Big Brother. And I actually love the campiness of Big Brother. The problem is when Big Brother is only campy, you lose anything real. The reason why people go to camp and like camp is because of those late night conversations they have, sharing their hearts and souls with their friends. It's about their first kisses with the boys or girl, right? Like that's why people like camp, not about all this like show. It's like it's not about that
Gimmicky.
crap. It's so gimmicky. It's so yep.
And it's a line that BB Can, I feel like, does well where, yeah, you know, they still have them dress up in bee costumes and use their stingers to punch out holes, which is, you know, kind of corny, but it's still funny. But they're able to have, you know, a little bit more genuineness, and it's from everybody. And I don't know.
I'm wondering though, like obviously, I don't think any of us can answer this because we study the game basically, but like for your average Big Brother fan, oh, I turned it on every now and again. Like, is that like appealing to you? Is that appeal? Like, I'm wondering why they keep doing this. Why do they keep like making the farmer just be a farmer and like nothing else about him? Why is
Right.
like the country girl just a country girl? Like, why is you know what I mean? Is like the average viewer loving it? I don't understand. Like,
I have thoughts about this, but I've got zero data to support it. And my theory is that it is completely a micro targeting strategy where they're very simply saying we need to create X amount of stereotypes because these are the markets we feel we aren't covering enough in. So we need to have a Southern girl who's super Southern so that the people in the South really relate to her. We need to have this gay guy who's a performer so that all of the people who are gay in a performance relate to him and watch. And that relating to him actually brings eyes onto the show. That's my theory. It doesn't, to me, create good gameplay, and it actually, more importantly, doesn't create good entertainment because it's just not authentic relationships. It's not people getting close. Like, you know, I mentioned earlier on, my favorite part of the show was the conversation between Nicole and Michael, because there is a real conversation of two people who in their lives would probably never cross paths.
Right.
Never.
Yeah, you know, that's what's great about it. And I don't know where the disconnect is between Big Brother and Survivor because Survivor is able to, you know, hit a lot of different demographics too. You know, like we got Brad, this, you know, gangly rancher from Wyoming or wherever he was from. And, you know, you've got Shan, the girl that, you know, used to be in gang growing up and now she's a pastor. Like, you know, you just have this wide array of people and you're able to say, okay, you know, like this is someone that I can identify with. And they are doing a great job of connecting lots of different people that can identify with different things. And Big Brother is just moving further away from it. And it's just disappointing. But hey, it's not why we're here.
Sorry, I just want to say one point. There's a difference between trying to look like you're diverse and actually being diverse. And so my fear is sometimes when you say, okay, we're going to put this guy that looks like this and acts like this, we're going to put him in. We're going to put this girl in, and then you hope for the best. What you need is real people with real life stories, not people that just fit a label, not people that just fit a structure that you want to put. Versus, you know, the reason why Shan is absolutely brilliant is, yeah, she's got that backstory of being in a gang to a pastor living in the city of Toronto. That is not just let's just put a person that is now a pastor in.
Yeah.
Doesn't just fill that gap that they want to fill.
All right. Let's move on.
I can't. No, I'm kidding.
That's it. All right. Okay, we're done talking about it. Okay. We do get to see Taylor actually bonding a little bit with some of the girls, and this is good to see. She is making a little bit of inroads, and we have her talking with Amira, Alyssa, and Nicole. And, you know, it seems like, okay, she's making some progress here. And, you know, they're talking about, okay, yes, Pooch is the target, but then we get this DR immediately from Amira that's like, yeah, well, but if Pooch were to come off, then sorry, girl, you still got to go. And it's like, okay, We're still here.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, she's Taylor's making baby steps as far as right now. Like she's slowly going up the ranks, but she seems to know it. Like she seems to like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk more about it, but she seems to understand like where she is in the house, and she's not like you'd think someone who was on the bottom last week gets a little glimmer of hope and will be like, "Oh, I'm great now. I have all these friends now," and like tell themselves that. Taylor isn't jumping the gun. Taylor's like, I remember what happened last week, sort of thing, and I like that. Like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want her to be able to make the genuine connections. I don't know if it's like in the cards for her this season, or if enough people have to be voted out for her to really be able to like get a good footing, because you do see some people that want to work with her. I think Michael genuinely does. I think Brittany genuinely does. But who knows?
Yeah, look, she's not at this point. Taylor's doing everything she needs to do. She started off so poorly, and not actually based on anything she did, of course, but her game was sort of handed to her in such a poor manner that she's just doing whatever she can to salvage what she can, and that is trying to create as many real relationships as you can. And you can't ask her to do anything else right now. In fact, I've said this before, I think it would be really bad for her game to win any HOH, to win any competition. She needs to focus on relationships only right now.
That's a thought. I'd like to see her win an HOH, and then maybe those relationships are forced. You know what I mean? People have to come to her. People have to try to include her. So, I mean, I kind of am on the flip side. I'd like to see her win something. All right. We get the segment with Kyle and Michael struggling to put in their contact lenses. And this is so funny to me. And this is the type of like silliness that I'm okay with from Big Brother, because it's true. I mean, I've got a sister that semi wears contact lenses and she struggle buses. But I have had an eye surgery and I went to the eye doctor so many times and like contact in, contact out, and my prescription was constantly changing like as my eyesight improved. And so I can literally just take my contacts in and out, no mirror, just.
So this is the reason why I wear glasses, because that is me in front of the camera whenever I put on my contacts. Like I fundamentally struggle every time I put on my contacts, so I just stopped. And I felt it, and I loved how they became competitive, and I loved how ultimately, as usual, Michael wins.
Yeah.
And the music, like it was like literally like it got more intense. It was so good. And then they even had Kyle in the DR, like, I need to beat him. And that's what they would have him say if it was like a real HOH or something. But yeah, I love the like, that's what we need. Like, that's what we want. Like you said, that's what Big Brother Canada brings to you. Like, a quarter of a Big Brother Canada episode, you have stuff like that. And you have like real connections and stuff like that. And no one complains because you get to know the people in the game more than just the game. And the game isn't always fun. It's not always amazing gameplay. So stuff like that makes you love it.
Look, if I hate we talk about Big Brother Canada so much, although I love it too.
Oh, we love it.
We love it. But like the first half of this last season of Big Can was horrific gameplay. Like it was week after week after week of ridiculousness from multiple people, but we still loved it because of all the things that the good people were doing, that the people who were playing the game were actually doing, and how they were maneuvering around all of it. That's the fun, right? Yeah. I don't see anybody maneuvering around anything anywhere. I'm finding them so unlikable.
I think a lot of them are very, very unlikable, but I will say that I am finding myself like carving out a place for a few of them where I'm like, okay, I want to see these 3 or 4 people succeed.
Who?
Even though I am not excusing all of her behavior because I still think she's a little bit of a mean girl. I enjoy Amira. I think she has sometimes a brilliant mind, sometimes a what the hell is she doing mind, but that's okay. She's kind of trying to find her way out there. And so I'm enjoying her. I enjoy Taylor. I enjoy Michael.
That's it.
That's 3.
That's good. That's good.
Nicole.
Not really. Okay.
I like
All
Nicole.
right.
And I'm gonna say something too. This could be a shock, but
Mike loves
with
Alyssa.
the annoyingness, well, I like Alyssa, but with the annoyingness of Jasmine in tonight's episode, I'm starting to like Kyle. Like, because there's a level of annoyingness, there's a ranking, and somehow Kyle's going a little lower, Jasmine's going up, and I don't see Kyle, like, as far as gameplay goes. I think he has the mind for it. I think he's goofy. I think he's, he says frickin' too much. I want to hear him drop an F-bomb. I know it's TV, but like, stop saying frickin'. But I think he has a mind for the game, and I see him as a genuinely nice person. I think he's a good guy, and in a game like this, he's someone you kind of want to root for if he's not as annoying as Jasmine.
But I have to say that, like, again, I don't know what's going on the feeds. I don't watch them. But if I was watching this game from afar and not actually watching this episodes, Michael's doing the best job in the season thus far. And the reason is that if you look at him, automatic threat. Really good looking, fit, muscular, great smile, should be on with all the girls, should be on with all the guys.
You mean Kyle?
Sorry, I meant Kyle. Wrong Michael. Wrong Michael. Oh, you were talking about Michael. Okay, I agree with you, Mike. I'm going to shut up now.
No, I was talking about Kyle.
Okay, so you were talking about Kyle.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean Kyle. And I think he's playing a fantastic game because he has completely pushed off any threat of him from himself. Like, nobody's looking at him. Nobody's thinking about him. He is everybody's happy-go-lucky friend, when in truth, he should be a big-ass target.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's like Turner.
Right.
He's like Turner, but he actually speaks.
No, he's not anything like Turner. Turner is in a category all his own. All right. So we get the formation of the Oasis. And, we're 6 episodes deep. This is an alliance that has been formed for quite a while now, but we're finally getting it brought in. And this is basically the, yin to the girls alliance yang. So in the Oasis, we have Kyle, Pooch, Monty, Joseph, and Turner. Because these are the 5 guys that are the big threats. So basically they left out the old guy and the gay guy. Okay.
Weird.
Shocker.
Well, to me, the most interesting part was, I think it was Monty who said that he isn't true to this alliance.
Right, that he wants to be more true to his pose pack or whatever it is.
So I have to say, I never ever understood this boy versus girl alliance. Like, you're in elementary school, don't you hit it off with people of different genders? Like, I don't get it. Like, what the heck is this craziness? We're not in grade 2.
I get it more so, and like, as a guy, I want to say that, like, I more so get it for the guys doing it, but no, I more so get it for the girls. Don't get me wrong, it never works. Maybe this will be the first season, but I more so get it for the girls. Like, you do see season after season, the guys are just boom, 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 and they somehow get the girls against each other, and they pick them off, and then they start going after the guy. Like, you know what I mean? So I understand it more so for the girls, but when guys come together and don't include any girls, my eyebrows go up a little bit. Like, you really think you're going to be able to do this? You know what I mean? But I do understand it from the girls' point of view. Like, we don't want to be this, we don't want it to be another season like this where they just go after us. You know what I mean?
So one of the things that I'm surprised isn't being copied from last season for all of these super fans in major quotes is, to me, the brilliance of the cookout was obviously the cookout. But to me, the brilliance, the real true, like, part of the cookout that was the best was that they each paired off. And they each paired off in a way so that even if they get nominated with whomever their pair is, that's fine. The other person was going home. And to me, to some extent, this was a strategy that, like, I think broke the game. And the fact that nobody in any way is trying to replicate anything like that.
Well, I mean, it's the same strategy that the Brigade had in season 12, which is my favorite season. And it took basically a decade before we see it again, because it is what the cookout does too. But the cookout did it even better because they got all of their members to the end.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, it just, whatever. It's interesting. But I think that this might be the first season where there is a possibility that these girls could actually stick together and try to take out some of these big guys. So we'll see what happens.
I'm seeing like a girl winner in this season, and
Yeah.
especially when you see the girls meet up and there's guys involved. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun here on this conversation, but you hear multiple times, like Michael has an easier way of saying it because he actually isn't being paired with the guys as much. But he says, yeah, like I want to work with the girls, whatever. And then Daniel saying, I don't want to be seen as this, masculine guy. I don't want to be put in that group, blah, blah, blah. But it's almost from Daniel it seems like a plea, like, please don't put me with them.
Don't put me with them.
I don't want to be a target from you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're starting to see a little bit of like the weakness in the guys. And I mean, maybe after this week, they're going to be like, oh shit, these girls are here to play. And you might see more of it.
And then maybe Monty will stop throwing competitions and say, holy crap, we got to get rid of them.
I mean, Monty is just clueless. Like week 1, you have Taylor straight up tell you, hey, Amira wants to come for the guys. And instead of Monty sitting on that information, he throws Taylor under the bus. And then they proceed to see all of the women constantly together in the HOH room. And now you know that Monty is in on the plan of them voting out Pooch. Maybe what Taylor said was right. And maybe these women are coming after the men. I don't know.
I really wanted to like Monty. Like I think I said he might be my winner pick in the first episode. If I did, cut it because I don't. Yeah.
All right. We get the Pooch and Joseph bromance. I'm going to use bromance very loosely in quotation marks here. So the last time we saw a bromance on this level, I feel like it was Zach Rance and Frankie, and come to find out that was actually more than a bromance. And I think there's a possibility maybe Pooch and Joseph could be too.
What?
I don't know. They asked Joseph point blank in his DR if they were beeping each other.
What? Are they
yes.
Aren't they on camera? Can't they see that?
Right, but they asked him, and
I have a weird take here. I felt like Pooch, before they even showed the like the bromance thing, I felt like Pooch had a lot of resemblance, not physically, to Zach Rance in the way that he goes about things, the way that he went to multiple people saying, she's out the door, this, and his just like overly confident, like
overly emotional,
a little bit pompous, egotistical. He gives me like Zach vibes. And then when they started showing them two cuddling and stuff, I was like, this is fucking crazy, because I'm starting to see it even more. Like I said, not physically, he looks nothing like Zach, but just the way he goes about things, I just had like very, Amanda Zuckerman's cousin vibes from him. So,
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. In the words of Indy, so much touching, but I'm not here to judge.
I love her. I want more Indy.
I want more Indy. I love Indy. That is who I left off.
More.
Okay. We get the veto draw. In addition to Jasmine, Taylor, and Pooch, we get Amira, Michael, and Terrence, and Daniel as the host. I mean, is this necessary? He's already hosted the HOH comp last time with his horrible country accent. Do we really need him to host another one? But here we go.
Look, this is free acting for them. They get free talent to do their stuff for them. I guess they're excited. It's such a waste. Like, go give Terrence something, okay? We don't see enough Terrence.
Yeah. Terrence is in the competition.
I was going to say, we saw a lot of Terrence in this
Let Indy do it.
Mike, give Alyssa something. Give somebody something. I don't need to see Daniel anymore. I want to see.
Let Indy do it. This would have been amazing for her. All right.
No, that would be. But okay, I have to say they keep on subtitling Indy like she doesn't speak English. Her English is fine. I don't know who they're subtitling things.
Look, I am 100% on board with them subtitling her every time she speaks, because your girl here strategic.
Yeah.
Drafted Indy on my fantasy draft team strictly because one of the scoring points is subtitles. And as soon as I heard Indy speak, I was like, she's on my team.
Oh, Lordy. Oh, Lordy.
I encourage it.
There's a lot of people who can't understand accents like that well. I'm just saying. Like, for instance, my girlfriend, love her to death. If you're watching, sorry. We'll watch, Love Island UK, and she has we have to watch it with subtitles because it's like they're speaking a different language. To me, absolutely bizarre because they're speaking English. I can understand it. She can't understand almost a word. So I get it, I guess, when she speaks a little bit off, her words. But
I need subtitles under Jasmine. That's what I need subtitles for.
I'll do better. I'm gonna start educating y'all and
Thank you.
teach you some Southern sayings.
Mhm.
ants
All right.
in my pants.
So before the veto competition, we get this conversation with Taylor and Michael, and Taylor's like, "Hey, will you use a veto on me?" And Michael's like, "I would like to, but
Talk to her.
yeah, I got to check in with the HOH." I mean, I know that is what is best for Michael's game because that is unfortunately the point we've gotten to. But I mean, if you want to take Taylor off, then go work your magic. And we kind of see the plan come together after the competition. But you know what I mean? If that is what you ultimately want to do, then start putting in the work before the competition even starts and start laying a little bit of groundwork.
How stable is Michael's game? Because I feel as though he is with everybody, but with nobody.
I think he's in a good position for now, but I think he has been clocked as being in the middle. So I think for now he's fine. But eventually, I don't think he's necessarily expendable now. But I think eventually he's going to have to probably choose some people to have an allegiance to, and he's going to have to, show his cards and go in a certain direction. But now's not the time for that. So, all right. This veto competition, Mermaid Fest.
Yeah. Love it.
Competition, great, that's fine. But we talked about this in the preseason. Music festival, clear picture. We've put together a drum set. We're holding on to the different booths.
And a motel room. Obviously, we have to add the mermaids.
What in the hell is a mermaid fest? What is this? How you have 9 months to come up with a concept and to hammer out ideas. Is this your idea? Mermaid fest?
Well, I add fest to anything and it works. Just add the fest.
But we went from the county fair, eating pies, to Mermaid Fest. Yeah. Okay, I don't understand.
I did love the competition, though.
Yeah, no, the competition.
I thought it was so fun to watch. Yeah, different strategies, moving the beads or whatever out of the way and stuff. I liked it a lot. But
I think it was really fun to watch. What do y'all think about Jasmine's decision to not compete because of her ankle?
She had no choice.
Yeah, I agree with that. It would literally be basically tied up in a little thing, and you know what I mean?
I'm like, why can't she wiggle down the runway?
She would have hurt herself more. She wouldn't have won anyways. Like why make a fool and potentially hurt yourself more?
Well, you know what? If you can't compete, then they need to take her out of the house. I said what I said.
I'm sorry. We know somebody from BB Can who never won an HOH.
I don't care if she doesn't win any HOHs. I care if she doesn't participate because she's too injured. If she's too injured, then they need to take her out of the house. Okay. Our girl Taylor is going to town on this. That is why that right there, if they are watching her, that is why she's a threat, because she was getting it, pushing this little pearl down the runway with her head. Very, very aggressive, very competitive.
Also, Pooch, there was a moment during the competition where Pooch actually looked like he was swimming. Go back and watch it. I'll find it. I'll clip it. It literally, they showed an aerial view of the entire thing.
He's a dog swimming.
What?
He's like a dog swimming, that Pooch.
Yeah, it was like he was going for a bone at the end. Thank you, Kevin. went underneath, and like it looked like he was in water, literally just so pleasant. I was like, this competition was made for this guy.
Evidently not.
Well,
Evidently not.
no.
Evidently, there's only one veto winner ever.
Yeah.
And forever.
But we get this DR from Pooch. Y'all, he is so cringy to me. Every time he talks, I dislike him more. Kind of like y'all are with Jasmine. I don't necessarily love Jasmine either, but Pooch is the one that actually he drives me crazy. And he says, Michael, he's got 2 in and Taylor's got 2 in, and I'm under some pressure, but pressure builds diamonds. I was like, come on now. I can't. I mean, it is just so cringy.
Well, the cringiness is that he did not come up with that. That's the cringiness.
No, I think he did. I see him out on the football field where he's like, come on, guys, you got to hit him. You dig deep here in the fourth quarter because pressure builds diamonds, and we're diamonds on this field. I just see him. I see him just going in on his
I just
players
want to
like
punch
this.
him and not listen to him, coach. I don't know.
Yeah, that was cringy though. That was cringy.
All right. But our boy Michael pulls off the win. Whoa, we love this because once again, Michael is one of the few people that might actually do something with this. And it's fun to see the veto get used and the HOH have to put up somebody else.
Yes.
So it's more fun that way, but that's not what happens. But we get Pooch and Taylor immediately talking after the competition, and Taylor's like, oh, I don't want either one of us to go. And this is once again them both, acting towards each other like, oh no. And they both think that they're safe, and only one of them is in on the actual plan. But I love it because Pooch is like, oh, I don't want to give Taylor any idea how comfortable I feel. So I'm trying to like put on a sad face and like mope around a little bit. I can't wait. I can't wait till he is on the couch watching this next week and he gets to see what a pompous ass he looks like.
He's going to be like on this podcast next week. Just like, can I join? We're like, yeah, come on, man.
All right. Let's talk about, we have these dual conversations happening. We get one with Pooch, Turner, and Joseph in the storage room, and then basically the girls and Michael and Daniel in the HOH room. Kyle, Monty, they're off doing whatever.
As an aside, did she leave that bed all week? Or was she in that?
No. Her ass is planted in that bed. They're going to have to scrape her out of it come Thursday, tomorrow. How are they going to get her moved? I don't know.
I don't know. She's
genuinely, you would think that she broke her full ass body because talking about some feed stuff, this isn't any type of spoiler. She had another house guest wipe her ass for her.
No. Who?
Girl. Yes.
Who?
Nicole. Your ankle is sprained. Why can you not wipe your own ass? Okay.
All right, now she shouldn't be able to compete in the game. It's not if you can't compete in a competition. If you can't wipe your own ass, you can't play.
Nicole wiped her. There you go.
Oh, God.
Number one or number two?
Who?
No.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I went straight to number two.
Oh, all right. Let's get back to these conversations. We get the boys. They need
a bidet.
They have a bidet in the HOH bathroom.
What is she asking people to wipe herself for?
Since Kaser has been in the house, they've had a bidet.
Okay.
Facts. Okay. Let's get to this conversation because that is just too awful to talk about. Okay. So we have 3/5 of the Oasis talking in the storage room. Pooch, Turner, and Joseph. Sheldon, tell us about their conversation.
I don't. There was a whole lot of macho stuff and a whole lot of we're okay.
But Joseph is like, you don't. think there's anything to worry about. Like, that would be dumb, right?
No, bro. No, bro. Lift another 50. No.
This really, really set me off because I was watching, just shaking my head. Like, it's one thing to be blindsided and to be embarrassed by it afterwards, but it's a whole nother thing to call other people stupid
Yep.
for wondering, maybe could there in this game, a game, could there be something going on here? Just throwing it out there because it's a game. And Pooch is like, basically like, you're a fucking idiot. And it's just like, Pooch, no, it might be you. It might just be you, but he just doesn't even, it's going to be, if it happens, it's going to be hard to watch, and it's going to be hard on this dude.
While in the other room, we actually see another plan starting to form where I think it was Amira who brings up,
Mhm.
no, Michael brings this up. Michael says, maybe I take off Taylor and we put up Joseph, and then we can make sure one of the two of the bromances leave.
Wow, this is a really good idea. And Jasmine's like, hold on a second. So we would take Taylor off and have Joseph and Pooch there together.
Oh,
Whoa.
I like it.
Mind blowing right here. And I love this plan. I kind of think that Amira was the one that threw it out there first, but either way, I love this plan. And this is what I would have loved to have seen Michael trying to push before the HO or before the veto competition. Like, hey, this could be a really good opportunity to backdoor somebody if I were to win. Like, what do you think about that? And let it be Jasmine's idea. Let Jasmine run with it. But, drop that little morsel in there to her and let her get her wheels turning. And then you get somebody else like, oh, should we do Pooch? Like, it's Pooch. We can get him at any point. Should we do somebody else? I mean, not that I'm like, oh my God, Joseph. Of course, Joseph.
The thing that I really liked about this from a Michael perspective is how confident he is, obviously, with the people who are around him, to actually talk about these things publicly. Right? He's still very respectful, says it's the HOH's decision, all that stuff you're supposed to say to wipe the HOH's ass, all of those things. But it's just a clear view that Michael understands where he is in the game and who he's around, who he can trust and who he cannot. And I love seeing that, whether this is the decision that ends up happening or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, there's a big difference between saying, I have the veto, you're the HOH, maybe we can do something here. Michael, no, he says, we hold all the power. We do. And in saying that, he's talking about himself and Jasmine. But there's 3 other people in the room who are like, yes, we do. Yes, we do. And that's how you build something. We run this game. We decide.
I also find it really interesting that Indy was in that room as well. We haven't seen a lot of game stuff from Indy, at least not on the show. And seeing her sort of physically positioned around these people, says to me that she's not just building strong, social relationships with them. She's starting to have those meaningful game conversations with them. She's immersing herself. And, maybe she won't just be a fun gal. Maybe there's something game-wise in Indy at some point. I hope there is.
Let's hope. All right, but time for the veto ceremony. Michael decides to not use it. Pooch, Taylor are on the block, and one of them will be evicted tomorrow. But plot twist, y'all. We are not going to get to see this live eviction tomorrow because we have to watch the hearings, okay? So instead of Big Brother, going a little later, going a little earlier, having a special Friday episode, no. 2 hours on Sunday, y'all.
So what? You're trying to
what's the deal? Are we not going to have feeds from tomorrow midday to Sunday after the episode?
I think, Kiley, you're saying that
refund.
The future of your country is not as important as watching Big Brother. I think that's what you're saying.
What I'm saying is absolutely not. Big Brother is way more important. All I'm saying is I just wanted Big Brother to be a little more flexible, find another time to show your episode, because this is what, you can know so much from the live feeds. You can know what's going to happen, but until you actually get to see it play out, and there's always some unexpected things that pop up, like, could you imagine if we had missed Rockstar's daughter's birthday because of the January 6th hearings? All right. Anyways.
No comment. I'll wait till Sunday.
Okay, so the Sunday episode, we will get an eviction. We will get an HOH.
Who's going home, folks?
Hold on.
Okay, I'm going to shut up.
We'll talk about some feed stuff in a minute. We will get an eviction. We will get an HOH. We will get nominees, and we will get the bestie festy. Because, yes, best friends are a festival.
Everything.
Okay. Do you think they're going to be pairing them up?
Yes.
What'd you say?
I think they're going to pair them up.
Yes, that's absolutely what they're doing.
There's an even number of players left once someone goes home. And they're besties. Come on, Sheldon.
I mean,
why can't Paloma be paired up with Taylor?
Okay, look, we're going to end the episode talk here, and we're going to get into some feeds/spoiler type stuff. So if you're not really down for that, now's the time to hop on out, because we're going to be talking about it. Once again, we have lost Mike. Okay, so according to our girl, Spoiler Girl on Twitter, she's totally on all the time. That's sarcasm. But anyways, they're going to be competing in the HOH competition. When one of them drops out, they get to choose their bestie, and they get to pair up.
Ooh, the loser choose their bestie.
Apparently, but like, what happens if they're still in the competition? What if like Taylor drops out and she's like, Michael, hey boo, come down from there.
Well, maybe they get to stay then, right? They get to stay in the competition. And if they win, they're both HOH, right?
And this is the point I was getting to. With the feeds down, will production try to influence the game since the first week went so badly? And I was like, that production has got to just love the fact that they are going to be able to be like, watch us puppet master this and keep Taylor safe till we get to the jury. Because that's 100% happening. Let me tell you some people that are not going to get screwed by the bestie festy twist. Taylor, Michael, probably Kyle, and probably Jasmine, unfortunately. Those four aren't going to get screwed.
Well, we'll see what's going to happen, because I'm interested in what happened in the feeds, because I'm not on the feeds, folks. Mike, Kiley, what's been happening? Is Poochie going home? Is it over for Poochie?
It has been over for Pooch since the minute he wanted to say that he would volunteer to go on the block.
Poochie has no clue.
He has no hope.
Whew.
And he has no clue. And he is probably will get clued into the blind side before tomorrow.
Somebody give him some hooch. Somebody give him some hooch for some Pooch.
Pooch needs some hooch. They've kept Joseph in the dark. I do think somebody like kind of trickled in a little bit of, maybe something to Turner, but I don't think that he's completely grasped the concept. But we have seen Monty working overtime to try.
So, can I just say one thing? I thought it was so hilarious on the episode where they're like, "Oh yeah, we formed this big guy alliance called the Oasis," and then pan to Turner. Like what?
And he got a DR tonight, y'all. So first time maybe since the premiere. I'd have to go back and look. But
I just want to say, like,
I don't know if Turner spends more time in the DR or the shower. It's a toss-up because he's not in either one of them.
The term
factual.
That's disgusting.
Going back to the whole Pooch, most likely, probably, definitely going home. The term "the pawn always goes home" gets thrown around a ton, and it doesn't always go like that. Sometimes the pawn doesn't go home. I want to just throw it out there that this is not that type of situation where the pawn always goes home. He
wasn't the pawn. He was the target.
This was a voluntary execution, basically. Yeah. He said, "Hey, Jasmine, I'm not even on your radar. You're not even looking at me. Can you put me up so that I can survive the block?" And it was
you see what I don't really understand is that from a Jasmine and a Michael perspective, they should have they should have put up Joseph. They should have put up one of the other guys because they see how a lack of strategy from Pooch wound him up on the block. It's not like next week he's going to wake up and become a brilliant player. Put somebody else up. Keep somebody that you understand how they play in the game and put some of the other people who might actually be a far bigger threat than Pooch on the block. And I don't know why they didn't do it. Because the truth is the fact that on Jasmine's watch, Pooch is going home already puts a big stain on Jasmine. She's already going to be targeted by the boys next week. That's what like it's done. She made the call.
Well, except that she's really not, because the guys are still dead set on Taylor. And Monty has been working overtime to try to get this vote flipped on to Taylor to the detriment of his game, where now the girls are like, ooh, Monty may have to go because...
You think that Joseph is dead set on Taylor after his boyfriend leaves? Come on.
Well, does Joseph have any influence on the game?
If he wins, he certainly will.
John, I do like your point, though. I do like your point. And then even because... I know it's pre-jury, it's early in the game, but these are the people you need to start thinking about who you're playing the game with from the second you walk in, and seeing Pooch's strategy this entire round. Seeing Pooch's strategy this entire round, or lack thereof, that's the type of person you want in the game for a very, very, very long time. And
forever.
He's so naive that if you put up Joseph and Joseph goes home, you might even be able to go to Pooch and say, look, man, hate that this happened, but get this. People were starting to target you. So we had to put a bigger target next to you to keep you safe. Sorry it had to be your boyfriend, but at the same time, we wanted to keep you in the game. And Pooch would be like, hey, thanks, guys. Put me up again next week. We can do this all over again.
I love being a pawn. I love it.
All right. So here's a question. Who's worse, Pooch or Marcellus? Because Marcellus has one of the dumbest moves in Big Brother history. He had the veto, could have used it on himself. He doesn't. He gets evicted. Oh, God. But Marcellus is just so iconic and, likable. And Pooch isn't. So Pooch is worse.
I think the move is far worse for Marcellus.
Yes,
I think
the move is worse.
Power.
I mean, Marcellus's was a slam dunk. Like, you're safe. You're making it another week. You have a good shot of winning the game. Like, this is so deep in the game when he doesn't use the veto, too. But probably on paper, Marcellus's is worse, but we're giving it to Pooch. I am.
Worst player, Pooch. Worst move, Marcellus. Easy.
There we go. The only
way he could beat Marcellus's move as the worst is if Pooch actually won the veto when he put himself up basically this week and didn't use it, or use it on Taylor or something like that. It's the only way it could be worse.
Well, I meant to say Pooch, but it sounds so much like Taylor.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I love the block.
Right.
Please just keep me here. Let me go here again next week.
I feel like we've been a little negative. Can we say something good about this season?
Yeah. You go first.
Give me a few minutes.
I love to talk shit with y'all, no matter what.
Yeah.
I love about this season.
I like talking shit with y'all too, but I want to say something good. Indy has been an absolute pleasure. I enjoy
Indy
her.
is a pleasure. She's
and
a little
love her, and I've also actually really liked Michael. He seems like such a mensch. He's a good guy at heart. Like, there's a few of them who are really nice to watch.
Like I said, honestly, they can have terrible gameplay, and that's totally fine. I just don't want them to have the bullying gameplay. So, if they can unhitch their wagon from the bullying Taylor, then they can be shitty game players all season long. I'm fine with that.
But Kiley, it's not just bullying Taylor. You could probably make an argument that they weren't bullying.
Right. I don't want to say the word bullying because I think that word's thrown around way too flippantly.
I use the word bullying to what they did to Taylor because I think that's what they did. But my argument is the way they treated even Pooch. He had a horrible move. he misread. He was too cocky, but the sort of making fun of him, like all that stuff. That
Like, I don't have as much of a problem with that because he brought that on himself. Taylor didn't do anything but move into the house.
I just think it's classless and it's unnecessary. And you know the dude's going home. You don't have to like rub it, like, and you're not even being a man and rubbing it in their face. You're doing it behind. Like, it's just so mean girlish. It's yucky to me.
Yeah, there
I
is a lot
see
of
more
Hey,
game.
we were talking about something good.
Yeah.
What
I
happened?
know. Sorry.
You done?
I love her.
I was gonna say I see more gameplay in the kind of bash Pooch sort of thing, whereas like once Pooch, gets his bearings and gets out of the house and watches it, he'll say, okay, like I see why they could do this. With the Taylor thing, still trying to figure out
Right.
why they hate her.
They're not calling Pooch a bitch and a whore and all this other stuff.
That's what it. Yeah.
So
I would say
like
the positive
they're
about the
calling
season.
Pooch an idiot. Whatever.
Yeah, positive about the season. Like you guys said, I think there's there's some good people in the house. Like I said earlier, Kyle is starting to I'm starting to like Kyle. And yeah, Michael's awesome. And also I like no matter how bad some seasons are or episodes, everyone is still watching. Like everyone's still tweeting. Everyone's still like, that's probably my favorite thing about the season. It shows.
Yeah, my favorite thing is definitely the BB Twitter.
Yeah, like even when it's not the best, like the show, people are still involved, and like we have this, and people can watch, and so it's something like outside of the house that I like.
I feel like BB Twitter, and I stay off of it for a reason, is everything that's wrong with our society today. It's just so yucky and gross, judgmental and rude, and all of
There's
those.
some good stuff on there too. Sometimes.
There's some great stuff on there, some hilarious stuff. My personal favorite from this week is Turner's sister hijacking his Twitter account.
Is he still an abuser?
She was like, he doesn't take showers at home either. It's just, you can't. Okay, it's just funny. All right. What I love about this season is that we are just getting to talk about the show that, even though it is a little bit messy and a little bit annoying sometimes, we still love it after 20 years. And
has somebody noticed that he isn't taking has somebody made?
Oh yeah, no, they're quite aware.
It's a pretty unsanitary house. People are wiping each other.
Yeah, no, they're aware that he is not taking showers.
Is he aware he's in California and it's probably like 100 degrees there or something?
Oh, yeah, okay.
It's like I'm Hawk and it's Toronto. Like they're in California. Like, come on, mister.
Yeah. Okay, we're not going there anymore.
Luckily, It's not smell-o-vision.
As a reminder, we are giving away an autographed Power of Veto.
Yes, we are.
And I will soon have it back in my hands because I have had confirmation that our BB alum has received it and signed it.
Are you telling us who's signing it?
I will tell you once I have it in hand, so that way, just in case it gets lost in the mail or something, I don't look like a dumbass.
Okay.
So it's very exciting because it is some great people. We actually have 2 of them that we will be giving away. So make sure you subscribe, because once we hit our goal number, then we will be giving that away.
Can you give us a hint? Is it a guy? Is it a gal?
1 guy signed 1 and 1 girl signed 1.
Are they married?
They're not. That would be so cool if it was Brenchel.
Have these people ever won the Golden Power?
They both have won the Golden Power of Veto.
Oh, okay. I think that's a really good clue.
Okay.
I feel like we're playing Guess Who. Can you guess who?
So we'll leave it at that. It has to be a BB alum from Texas, Kat. So it does not have to be a BB alum from Texas. One of them for sure was mailed out of state.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Louisiana.
I mailed them from Louisiana.
So into Texas. I see the way you did
it. We will see. All right. But we will be doing that giveaway hopefully sooner than later. What else, guys? What do y'all have to plug?
Well, check us out. I assume we're not doing an episode of this until Sunday, until Monday. So check us out
Okay.
on Monday. But we do have the challenge coming up. What is the challenge, Kylie?
Yeah, so Kevin and I will be here tomorrow to recap episode 3 of the Challenge USA, which if you're not watching, it's been really, really fun. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. Good times. So come back, listen to us recap. Hopefully it's another fun episode. I'll be watching it tomorrow.
And
Bye.
if you have any social media accounts, any, Twitter, if you happen to stumble upon Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, like I said, if you make your own social media platform, we're going to be the first ones on it. OnlyFans, that other one that everyone goes on but doesn't say they do, at For the Fans Reality. We're on everything. And we're going to be posting a lot this season. And I'm going to be posting a lot more, hopefully. So you can get all the great content, but you can find us everywhere at For the Fans Reality.
All right. We will see you guys next time. Bye, y'all.